Hello, this is JeeShen. If you haven't watched my previous video that talks about the room mapping on Channel Manager, please feel free to pause this and watch that before this. So in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the questions related to Channel Manager after I covered the basics of the Channel Manager mapping. Let's begin. Right, so on my screen, I have 4 questions here. Let's go through, I will go through one by one in this video. Let's go with the first one, okay? Can I have rates planned on the PMS but not mapped to OTA? Okay, let's tackle this question, right? Okay, so I'm gonna use the same table that I did in my previous video to answer this question. Can I have rate plan on the PMS but not mapped to OTA? Yes, you can. And very often, this applied to what kind of rate plan? This applied to walk-in rate plan, So you do not want to have the walk-ins rate mapped to OTA, right? So this is why, yes, you can have rate plan on the PMS but not mapped to OTA, okay? So now next question. Next questions I wanted to answer is, can I have rate plan on the OTA but not mapped to PMS? Okay, so this is the other way, right? I have just said, yes, you can have rate planned on the PMS but not mapped to OTA. But this is the questions, whether can you have a rate plan here, let's say call rate plan A, for example. Okay, let's call this rate plan A. Can you have a rate plan A but not map between the OTA? Okay, that's the question. Okay, I'm gonna try again. Right, so sorry, I should not use this pointing. Assuming you will have, the question is like whether you can have a rate plan A but there is no mapping here. Okay, that's the question. Okay, so like this. Okay, the answer is no. I would not encourage you to do that because that will defeat the purpose of using Channel Manager. Okay, why? Okay, imagine if you have a rate plan on OTA called A and your guest book, but you go back to the old age where you have to check your email and key into the PMS manually. Okay, why the Channel Manager does not sync the reservation? One, because without the mapping, Channel Manager do not know which room types basically is the guest book, right? So that's why there's no way for the Channel Manager and the PMS to work for you and to automatically update the reservations, and it does not have the knowledge of this rate plan on OTA to make changes when you make changes on the price. Okay, so that's why, to answer this question, you can, but we do not recommend because it defeats the purpose of using Channel Manager. Okay, so the third question is, how do the systems work to update the available room? Okay, so let's try to proceed further. Let me delete this few things. Okay, I'm gonna use a red color pen. Okay, good. Well, assuming you have assuming we have 5 rooms here. Okay, 1 second, let me zoom in. Right, okay, assuming we have 5 standard rooms. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, we have 5 rooms, right? Both on the PMS and the OTA. Now, when you sell on OTA, guest book, and there's 1 room lesser, right? So OTA will send the guest reservation to the PMS and channel manager, and you will receive the reservation, and the system will deduct the room available automatically, right? That's how the system works, okay? But what if you have a walk-in guest, okay? Now the walk-in guest book directly with you using the walk-in rate. So you have created a reservation for a walk-in guest. Now the system will update, the OTA saying that, hey, we have sold another room, so 3 rooms left. Okay, so that's how the system communicate with each other. And why room mapping is important, because that's how the system know, hey, this reservations made for this room, it's the standard type room. So because these systems are mapped so that the availability of the room has to be synced, right? So that's how the system works. So likewise, if you receive bookings from the kiosk, Softinn do provide hotel kiosks. If you receive a walk-in bookings on the kiosk, the system will make a reservations and will block the room, and it will also update the OTA. So that's how the system works behind the scene to sync the availability, right? So that's the third question. Okay, the last one, can I have one rate plan for each OTA? Okay, so now earlier on I was talking about using best available rate with breakfast, without breakfast. But what if you wanted to have a rate plan that mapped to specifically one OTA? Yes, you can do that. So now assuming you have here, okay, I'm gonna draw a line on this table and extend it. Okay, now on the right you can have booking. Oops, let's not do this. Use text. You can have Expedia. Okay, you can have now Agoda. Okay, now let me draw a line again. Okay, so here you have Expedia section. Okay, here you have Agoda section, right? So before this, we were treating all OTAs the same, right? The rate plan are mapped to all the OTAs. The question here that we have is, can I have one rate plan mapped for each OTA? Yes. How and why sometimes this is relevant? Because sometimes hotel wanted to sell different price on different OTA. Okay, take for example, I wanted to I create a rate plan on the PMS. I call this Expedia rate. Okay, so standard room, Expedia rate. Okay, then I can have again another rate plan called Agoda rate. Standard room, Agoda rate plan. Okay, so now, oops, you can map one-to-one. Okay, I am trying to illustrate the idea how you map one-to-one. Okay, so the question here is like, can you map one rate plan to one OTA? Yes, you can, right? And the way that we did it before this is that one rate plan mapped to all the OTA. We are assuming on all the OTAs you have best available rate. But you are always free to create one rate plan specifically for your OTA. And this is particularly relevant if you want to have a different price. For example, on Expedia, you are selling 110 ringgit. Okay, right? So on Agoda, you are selling 120. Okay, I'm just giving an example. So that way, you would be able to maintain different price on each different OTAs. And normally, this is the reason why I heard hotel requesting one rate plan for each OTA. All right. So while you do so, the availability systems will be intact, because as long as you map the rate plan, the system will automatically do the sync. And if you make changes to the rate plan, let's say Expedia, you increase the price to 120, the system will knew that, okay, only changes on the Expedia, so it will update the price for Expedia, but not Agoda, right? Okay, so I hope this explained further how the channel manager work with OTA, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.